John and Vriska, touchdown.
Whew, that was quite the race.
Race? Come on. That was barely a warm-up.
Jeez, I guess I'm out of shape. I didn't even know you could be out of shape with magical floating powers.
Well, that's what sitting around like a depressing, boring loser for sweeps gets you. You'll just have to get back in shape.
Man, I guess so. Hey, now that I got you here, why did you lead us directly to the meteor? We did both kind of mutually mention that there was a transportalizer pretty much directly to the lab in Roxy's house, right?
Sure. And?
Well, I just think maybe it would have been a little less risky to go that way, instead of weaving through battleships and crossfire and all that war junk.
Less risky, maybe, but also way less fun. Come on, wasn't it a pretty sweet joyride? It's nice to give the old wings a stretch.
That's true. But I think now that we're here, we should probably get inside before someone notices us. Roxy taught me a secret knock to use in times like these. She'll record...
Open up!
Damn, dude. Took you long enough. I'm hungry as hell. What do you bring? Nah.
Huh?
Hey, you two. Sorry about him. His manners are fucking atrocious.
For real?
Anyway, hustle up and get in before someone sees ya. Also, John, what the fuck happened to the secret knock?
Yeah, John, what the hell?
Move it, Buster.
John and Roxy, co-parent.
Oh, the kids are safe, by the way.
That's good. Wait, they were in danger?
Yeah, numbnuts. In case you forgot, there's a whole ass conflict going on with kids getting kidnapped and houses getting targeted and shit. Our house being one of those heists.
You never told me our house was one of those heists. You just told me to get Vriska, which I did.
Actually, I pretty much got myself.
Fair. But I collected her. You didn't really say anything about Harry or the other kids at all.
Oh man. I guess I kinda didn't, huh? Aw, jeez.
Hey, I'm sorry, Roxy. Don't worry about it. You've got him now.
What? No, I don't got him.
Wait, what? Then who has them?
Rose, Naya, and Jade picked him up while they were, running around outside unsupervised.
Oh. Well, that's good.
You guys are terrible guardians.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're one to talk. You left your own clone on her own in a dungeon.
It wasn't a dungeon, John. It was a high-security black site.
That's basically the same thing. If anything, it sounds a lot worse.
She could handle it. Unlike your lame-ass offspring who need to be grub-sat by an entourage of armed guards. I can tell she's got that patented circuit panache.
Technically, she's a Miriam Lalonde.
Sure, whatever. The point is she's a Vriska.
Whatever is right.
Hurry up and walk faster!
Hello. I'm so glad you all made it back all right.
Oh, it were no thing, baby. I was just answering the door.
Not you, silly.
Ew.
A little, right? Salutations, Vriska. I must say, it's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
What the hell is that thing?
Gracious. You're as rude as I imagined you'd be.
Not you. I know who you are. That thing.
Oh, yes, that makes sense. That, my narratively significant friend, is the reason we've called you here. Allow me to introduce
The plot point.
the plot point. Technically the machine's stabilizing the plot point. The actual point is that ominous-looking bit in the middle.
That's it?
That's it.
It looks sort of small and shitty.
It's actually anything but. It is paradoxically massive and incomprehensibly powerful. So much so that the fact that anybody was able to contain it at all is a miracle in of itself. But as much as I'd like to sit here and congratulate myself on the achievement of its stabilization, more miraculous still is what we intend to achieve with it. And you, Vriska, are going to be instrumental to the success of this endeavor.
No shit. That's kind of my whole thing.
You're more correct than you know. As we've already explained to John, this world is currently mired in a state of, well, let's call it dubious pertinence.
I fucking knew it. John, didn't I tell you? I totally did tell him. I've been saying this world is complete bogus for ages now, and nobody's been listening. Yet here I am, right again. Shocker. You should listen to Calliope, John. They may have pretty weird taste in fashion, but they obviously know what they're talking about where the shitty fake shitness of this joke of a timeline is concerned. Clearly, we need to do something.
That was perhaps a tad reductive and sort of rude, but you're certainly correct in your assessment that something has to be done about this. I'll keep this short. I know John's already heard a good deal of this explanation previously, and you seem to be catching on quick, so... Earlier, you mentioned that you've had a keen sense from the beginning that something was amiss here. Although our world isn't necessarily bogus, and it certainly isn't fake, per se, we are in effect completely cut off from the wider canon of reality, to borrow a phrase from slightly earlier me. We're kept quarantined here by a means of existing within a massive black hole, from which escape seems essentially impossible. That's where you come in. You see, we're hoping to leverage your unique hyper-relevancy here to... Oops, let me back up. The reason we brought you here specifically is because the plot point over there corresponds to the singularity at the exact center of our aforementioned plot prison. Important bit of info, that. Now, to reiterate, we want to escape that prison. And not just as individuals either. No, the hope is that we'll be able to emancipate our entire world from the narrative purgatory and retake our place in the limelight. To do this, we aim to become uncontainable, and to do that, we're going to use you, a potent plot player if ever there was one, to crack the black hole wide open by interacting with the singularity, by reaching the plot point. Now, there are quite a few ways this could practically shake out, and more than a few methodologies we could have you try. The first thought is just to have you make something happen here. Something significant, mind. But what would that really entail? Contriving an entire scenario for you to play a pivotal role in, here at the center of all things? I did consider it, but it felt... well, inorganic, inauthentic. And if we're going to make it out of here, inauthenticity is the exact opposite of what we need to achieve. Which brought me to wondering how someone like you might utilize the plot point itself, as a tool rather than a locale. How you might wield it. Perhaps it is a portal, and we'd send you through it. Or maybe we'd have you ferry us all through it. Though, how would that work? Alternatively, maybe it'd be as simple as having you attempt to destroy it, and...
Alrighty. Just shush, let me stop you right there. I don't have all day to sit around listening to a frumpy exposition creature.
But you said that...
Bup. You too. Here's the story. It's obvious to anyone with half a pan that this whole shindig is pretty much cosmically clusterfucked, top to bottom. Equally obvious is that I'm gonna be the one to fix it, because when am I not? And what's becoming even more obvious to me is that none of you actually have any real idea what it is I need to be doing here. Theories, maybe, but nothing solid. So while I'd love to sit around listening to more academic conjecture on the ifs and or buts of what exactly this thing's deal is and what we should or shouldn't maybe do with it, I actually wouldn't love that at all, and I'm not going to do it, because it'd be a waste of my time. And no offense to this whole plane of existence, but I've had just about as much as I can handle of wasting my time in here. It's time to kick off the training wheels and do what I do best. Figure shit out myself. So sit tight and leave the rest of this to me. You can thank me when I get back.
Vriska, figure shit out yourself.
You're welcome. Oh, shit!
Wow.
Yeah, she's... well, just as much of a card as I remember.
Just as much of a jerk, maybe.
She definitely was not very polite. But I guess she did more or less end up doing something. So I suppose we should chalk that up as a win and job well done? I don't know. I was kind of expecting something a bit more plot significant, I guess.
Callie,
Yes, dear?
is Vriska right
Right about what, dear?
about the fact that you don't actually know what the fuck we're supposed to be getting up to here?
Well, more or less, yes.
Baby, are you serious?
Oh dear. Did I neglect to mention that I only really had a solid grasp on the inaugural steps of this whole undertaking?
Yeah.
Oops.
Shit, yeah, Callie, that is kind of a fucking oops. You said you were being compelled by, like, hella visions and premonitions and mysterious psychic spatio-temporal intuitions, and I kind of figured that meant you had this shit all totally comprehended.
I'm sorry, Roxy. It absolutely wasn't my intention to mislead you, or to overrepresent my level of understanding of the process. It's just that, well, you remember how we got so wrapped up in the initial excitement of finding the singularity and the ruined Juju arc, and subsequently stabilizing it with our super cool cherubic Lalondian tech?
It's true. Our tech really is so fucking cool.
And then, well, it felt like we were on such a roll when we came to the conclusion that we needed to leverage Vriska's hyperrelevance to scurry out of here.
We did have a whole bunch of high fives about that.
It was an exhilarating breakthrough, and an equally exhilarating high five session. But then the conflict began to ramp up, and your son got into all those shenanigans, and I wanted you to feel like I had everything under control down here so you could attend to it. And all that notwithstanding, we really did need to hurry up and do something. I worried that perhaps you'd be a bit reluctant to pull the trigger on this if it felt like all the details weren't lined up. And so I suppose I might have implied a more complete knowledge of the A to Z of all this than I actually possessed, and continue to possess. Well, but you don't possess it. No, I'm afraid not.
Ugh, Callie. I gotta say, this feels sort of less than ideal. But I guess what can you do?
Wow. Feels kind of nice not being the one getting chastised for a change.
John, shut your insensitive blab hole, or I'm gonna chastise the shit out of you.
Jeez. It was fun while it lasted, I guess. Just trying to think solution here, but is there something we should do? Should we maybe, I don't know, follow her? Oh, I wouldn't recommend that. Whatever's going on in there, it's likely to be extremely dangerous and scarily specific. It's dangerous and you let her jump right into it? Well, she didn't exactly give me much of a golden window of opportunity to try and talk her out of it, now did she? Besides, what exactly was I supposed to say? Hello, Vriska. Lovely to make your acquaintance. So glad you could make it to our little soiree. Would you mind doing something of particular significance next to, but not within, that crackling narrative nexus of swirling space-time? By the by, I'm not exactly sure as to what, and in addition to the forces at play here, could quite easily rip you, or perhaps all of us along with our entire plane of existence, to pieces if you're not exceedingly careful, so do take a second or two to think about it.
I mean, maybe that would have helped? But really, it sort of seems like she would have just jumped right the fuck in anyway.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel like we're all being ripped to pieces.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty structurally intact. How about you, Callie?
Whole and one.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Oh, ugh, damn, dude. When did you get in here? Wait, the fuck? Are those my chips?
I guess they were. I found them in your hive. Had to go on a little pilgrimage on account of nobody in this cast of gods and political giants apparently has the requisite clout or ability to get a dude some fucking food on time. Big damn war on, and I guess that means I have to fucking starve.
So you snuck into my house and raided my pantry.
Oh fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't realize these were sacred human chips that you use to commemorate your ancestors' remains or play a role in your probably nasty as hell mating rituals, or maybe this is what you guys use for toothpaste or whatever.
Xenophobic?
Isn't it reverse xenophobia?
Reverse xenophobia isn't a thing, idiot. Also, it's not reverse xenophobia. You're the alien. If anything, it's reverse xenophobic of you to imply otherwise. Boom. Race relations blown the fuck out.
God. Whatever. Give me one.
Anyway, what's going on here?
I wonder what is going on in there.
Grumpy exposition creature. Exposit.
Let's have a look then. As ever, faced with the desperate scrabbling of those who would overstep their bounds, it falls to me to clear things up. Unfortunately, what's been started here is now beyond my ability to curtail. What I can do, however, is show you all the consequences of the actions of those who would leap before they looked, and at the very least, offer you a reprieve from tiresome conjuncture in favor of equally tiresome Deus Ex Machina.